Hello, this is Dennis King's presentation for the school plant planning course, and it's the Sunflower USD2009 case study. Um, and what we want to review is the case study that we were given and then broken down into the categories that were provided. In category one, identifying the problem and analysis. And under the category of what I do know is I do know that the state assessment scores are low, that learning seems to be affected or ineffective teaching is occurring, and parents are aware of that, students, faculty are aware of that as well. You can see through the letter to the paper that at least one parent, which is something that perhaps we can leverage that person later, um, can be beneficial to us. We see that through the climate survey that the faculty have or the teachers have some real concerns and find it unacceptable. But we also know that the teachers are willing to help, that 51% of them are willing to give their time as well. And if the community seems to be active in complaints about their school district and some of the things going on, that perhaps they would be willing to help as well. We also know that we're losing quite a bit of time and efficiencies just through the fact that the facilities are so bad. So, what I would need to know, or what we'd want to collect to start working on this problem, is first off, the severe health related issues. Is there anything that needs to be taken care of today? Does the school need to be shut down? Is there somebody that, regardless, we have to work out something with the budget, but something that is life threatening or potentially, lawful down the road that we would need to take care of right away? And I would want to bring in cost. To bring in those repair people, give some cost estimates. I don't know if any of that was included in the previous superintendent's report that they did. And I don't know what outreach has been done to the community in the past. Have we always worked, or has the district always worked in isolation, or have they tried to work with the community before? And if so, what has and hasn't been successful? The location and the demographics of the school, that could play into some of the resources that we could leverage from the community, and it could also play into the whole build new versus renovate. Where exactly are we located? I kind of get the idea that this is in a city, inner city, and are there options available? And then job descriptions, duties, responsibilities, what kind of evaluation goes on? Are there preventive maintenance or any kind of maintenance in plan already? And then the funding options that are available. What's out there and what additional funding maybe I can go out and collect, or if they have money in the bank, so to speak, already. So analyzing the problem, and later on you asked for how I felt reading this, and I guess I'll share that at this time. But obviously we all want more information to be able to make these decisions. However, I thought the main issue was really almost a lack of caring, and in the leadership and by some of the staff as well. If some of this stuff was so apparent, how difficult it is to shut a food case, how difficult is it to sweep up a little bit outside of the general area that you sweep up or mop down or wipe down. I don't know about the funding. I don't know about the job descriptions, but we all know people that go above and beyond and are eventually rewarded. But if you're leaving things open, or you're leaving things drip, and there hasn't been talk, or there hasn't been work in the past to head this off, it seems like people just didn't care. And a big part of this to me would be getting those people that cared there and rewarded, and after the problem was fixed, and those that maybe were part of the problem probably don't need to be there any longer. So, proposed plan of action, as I mentioned before, number one, let's get anything that's life-threatening taken care of immediately, even if it involves shutting down the schools or moving schools. Let's start talking to people that we know that are knowledgeable, and those would be people from a wide area. We have a wide area of complaints here, or of issues with the facilities. Some of them structural, some of them sound like their teaching method and the rooms themselves. But for those that are building related, pulling in specialists who can help us in those areas, or looking and in addition, looking to other school districts or colleagues that have maybe gone through something in the past, so that you can pull on their knowledge to help put together this plan. Community leaders as well, but also keeping a focus on the fact that, hey, when you're all said and done with this, not only do you want to celebrate this, but you also want to have something to hang your hat on. So green possibilities, maybe mobile possibilities in the teaching environment as well. So when you put together your plan, you're not only, okay, we need to fix things immediately, but then long term, where do we want to be? So 3, 5, 10 years out, because I don't think this is a quick 1 year fix between funding, putting a plan into place, and actually doing the renovation. It seems to me to be a longer project. Again, working with both the community to be open and discuss the issues with them, but then also call for them for help. Teacher support as well. Doing the same thing, involving everyone, all of the stakeholders in what's going on. Reviewing the staff plans, the maintenance plans. What do they have in place now? Is there any kind of preventive? What equipment do they have? Maybe they don't have the right equipment to do this as well. Maybe they don't have the right training to do to meet the needs of the school. Funding is going to be a big issue. This would be a project that I would think you would come into looking at and play a bigger role, a bigger hands-on role than generally just turning it over to the principal or turning it over to a facilities manager within the district. But I think you would want to have a very close fingers on this and be involved. From that, I would want to create a project plan, balancing both the highest priority for health concerns with funding, with what could be done while the school is still operating, and how you're going to shift students around. There's going to be some kind of balance that's going to have to occur. And then when all is said and done, the strategy is going to be that I'm going to want something at the end where I can measure the success and the continued success of the school in the future. So I broke it down into short-term, intermediate, and long-term milestones. And this would be a plan that I would take to the community and to the teachers and talk about, this is what I would like to see. Now, there are things that I forgot. I know there are things I forgot. There's things that we need to improve. There's things that we need to work on. But here is a plan to begin with, and let's put this in place. And then it's my job to make sure that this plan is executed and the funding is there to execute it. You can see in the short-term milestones that really safety and establishing an improved learning environment is the first thing that we want to do. We don't want to have the concerns. We don't want to have the worries. We want to have the focus back on education, but make sure everyone is safe. The intermediate, we want to keep the ball rolling. We want to implement the plan that's put in place. Let me go back to the short-term milestones. I say repair RFPs because there is a variety of things in here, from roof to HVAC. And while you might be able to find a general contractor who could oversee all of them, it might be perhaps that you have several different projects going on. It might mean that you need several different groups, several different committees made up of teachers, communities, members of the administration to actually succeed. So on the intermediate, you're looking at training the staff, making sure that the money is there, tracking the phase development. Then that's where the actual implementation of the plan would come in. And then our long-term, hey, we want to have an open house. We want to celebrate. We want to put a preventive maintenance plan in place going forward. It sounds to me like we definitely need some new staff job descriptions and training that goes into them, getting the right people, and then we want to have continued assessment as we go forward to continue to evaluate. And we want to demand. We want to have leadership that cares and demands going forward. It demands that quality. So as I look at this, what I was feeling or what I was valuing, I've got to say, one, I was really upset with the community, and when I say the community, I'm talking about everyone. Maybe stakeholders would be a better term. All of the stakeholders. It can't be. I would think that if it had progressed to this state, and obviously the past superintendent had called for a review of the situation, that there was some knowledge that this was going on, but it had really gone above and beyond the fact that action should have been taken a while ago. I was mad at the lack of leadership and fearful of the health issues. That was the first thing I thought of, is who's getting sick and who's going to have long-term illness when it comes down to this. So again, I was surprised. My first initial thoughts were the safety, the learning, and then setting up for future success, and making sure that those things were in place. The unresolved is one is signing a year contract. Again, I think that this is a multi-year project that you have going on. Who knows if I would be around as a superintendent to make sure that this project was successfully completed. However, I would want to make sure that the plan that was in place set the next person up to complete the plan and be successful. I don't know what the community involvement is. I don't know what their skill set is. I don't know how or if they're going to be willing to give up their time. I don't know the cost and fundings that's available, and that might be the most difficult thing to collect, and not knowing that is going to be difficult going forward. And then, is this a district-wide problem? I don't know that. That's one thing that maybe perhaps what we're doing at this school we can go and we can take and we can implement in other schools as well, so that the whole district can be successful. And then finally, reflecting on Standard 6, I think what I've done here as far as setting this up, and which directly affects Standard 6, is I would take a hands-on approach to this leadership, and I would gain the community involvement, all stakeholders' involvement. I would involve the staff as well, and put in plans into place that not only met today's or the issues that are addressed today, but also in the futures, that we could be successful in the future. The collaboration with both the teachers and the collaboration with everyone that's involved, from the janitorial staff and the principal, to make sure that an instance like this doesn't happen anywhere in the school district again. Establishing the clean and safe environment, engaging the communities. I know I put communication in there twice and open meetings in there in one of the previous slides about the goals, is that I think open communication is what gets people on board, letting them have a sense of ownership. They'll be able to work. They'll be able to come in on Saturdays and help. They'll be able to celebrate the success of the schools at the end. And then establish that baseline. Here's what success means. Here's why we're going to be a quality school, and we're going to be something that the community can be proud of, and we're something that your students are going to go out afterwards, or your kids are going to go out afterwards, get good jobs or go on to college because of the success they have at USD20, at the Sunflower USD. They're going to be successful because of what you put in place and because of how we work together.